Welcome everyone to episode number 2 of the ACR Gameplan, where we talk about All Cup ranking, and we are here in the Metropolitan Tour, and it's going to be a really interesting one. All cities, Flo. Don't you love cities,
Yeah,
man?
I love cities, and I'm even in another city that would have fit very well into this tour. So Vienna today.
Yeah,
If
man.
this background than the last time. But yeah, Vienna is not yet available. Let's see if it joins Mario Kart 2 at some point. But today we're talking about the other four: Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, and London.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely a split in the community. Some people love it; they can grind out their XP and go for ACR and have something different. And for other people, it's all a bit too much, just all cities. So I don't know where I sit, maybe somewhere in the middle, but it's certainly cool getting something different. So quite a unique tour, and it will be interesting to discuss ACR with you today and what it all means and you know how do you invest into your inventory in a tour where everything's cities? So let's get stuck into the episode. And it was about an hour long last time, and we wanted to make it shorter, so we actually added 10 slides. So it probably will end up being longer. So thank you for your patience, and come along for the ride, and let's get stuck into it. So just a quick overview before we get started. We're going to be doing quite a bit of data analysis today, looking at the tour, looking at the new items, but mostly focusing on what matters for ACR. We've got some tier lists, we've got the ACR Hotlist, and we're going to see what's going to show up there. We've also got a bit of a giveaway, so stay tuned and get excited. If you've got someone in your life who wants to, or maybe for you want to go for All Cup rankings, then the giveaway might be of interest to you. So first up, Flo, we're going to take a look at how your Cat Tour ACR results went. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So yeah, my ACR capture results. I made it to the first page, 174, which I think is my second best placement. I get 119th in the Doctor Tour, so that was also the closest one to top 100. So I'm not aiming for top 100, but just trying to get the most out of the runs. And as you can see, 86.6%. That's okay. That's not too good, especially if you consider some of the baby park runs. So that's the old cheat before it was updated by DKR. So it would be even worse if I would have used the newer one. But yeah, there were some.
Man. 174th is a good placement.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm quite satisfied with that placement, and also some of the runs were pretty okay. Baby Park T in the second rank looks better than it was with the 137 action count percent, but just 3 boxes, so that's nothing spectacular. And in general, I think in the second week I was just running out of time, so there are some bad runs there as well. But in general, it's a decent ACR grind, and I could have made it to 1.3 million. That would have been a nice goal, but it is what it is.
The action count, I guess, estimate can be a bit misleading there when, and the score estimate can be a bit misleading when you don't have the best loadouts. You're using tier 2 items on those courses, is that right? Yeah.
Exactly. Same of course. Baby Park R, that nothing you can do, or you can't improve that much to your score if you only have one item that is above level 1.
Yeah. Was there any track or score that you got that you were super proud of, or was it pretty standard runs?
There were two funny runs. So the one is Sky Garden R, which where I got the triple boomerang frenzy, but no boombox, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it was still a nice run, and it would be hard to get a better one with the boombox alone. So you need the boombox plus coin frenzy, and even then it's not sure if you would top this run. So I just left it as it is. And then I also got a triple coin frenzy run, but the triple coin, it was in RMX Ghost Valley 1 in the Ice Pro Cup. Um, they were not that good, but it was good enough, so I just took it. And triple coinbox frenzy is still always nice to have. So I think it was the fifth one, and I think there was only one where I was really having a great run, and the others were, yeah, you could have done better, but yeah,
Good
nevertheless,
work,
a
man.
nice run.
Yeah, those triple coinbox frenzy runs can be interesting because that's a short course, so it doesn't necessarily have the best action count. A lot of turning, so a lot of coins fly over the side as well. Awesome, man. So getting into my one, so I landed on 859th. I wasn't even planning on going for ACR, but in the end, it was, just having a bit of fun. So, hey, that's 3 tours in a row for me, so I'll take it. I was pretty happy with getting it 3 tours in a row. I think I will definitely be taking a break this tour, just as a spoiler there. But in the end, had some nice runs. I think the one... there's a couple. I just really enjoyed the boombox ones. So the Sky Garden R with Luigi Vacation there. I got the run that you probably wanted that wasn't a triple boomerang frenzy. So I actually got 2 boombox frenzies. It was pretty crazy. And then a third, I think that one was just a single boomerang or something like that. But it was 191 actions. So you can see the action count ceiling can be so much higher when you do get those boom boxes. That was an insane run, to the point where I could barely even remember what had happened at the end of it. It was just my mind went blank. So it was so surreal that I was like, did I actually just get 2 boom boxes? So they weren't the best boom boxes. It should have been much higher action count based on what I got, but it was a high action count run. So that one was really fun. Other than that, I think there was a Ghost Valley 1T. I actually messed around with Meowser for a while. Oh, I think I lost you there for a minute. Are you back?
I'm back. Sorry for the
that's
inconvenience.
All good. I'll just edit that out. I'll just edit that out and keep talking. So RMX Ghost Valley 1T, I actually messed around with using Meowser and Luigi Vacation. I couldn't decide who I wanted to use, and the run I ended up keeping was, it was Mushroom, Boombox, and Boomerang Frenzy, and I only finished in second place, so it's one of those runs that could have been so much better scoring if I had actually finished in first, but it was the best run I ended up taking, so I was, being precious on time. The other run that was pretty crazy is the Yoshi Valley T. You'll see there with the Luigi Vacation where I got a triple Boomerang Frenzy, same as you got on Sky Garden R, and 230 actions. It was pretty amazing. Without Boombox, because there were coins all over the track, there were boomerang hits everywhere, and there's the half pipes, which I went up and got all the coins. I think on both laps I got all the coins there, so it ended very, very well. So all in all, a fun ACR grind, I think, last tour. Cool.
Yeah, looks pretty well.
Sorry, man. Cool. So now we're going to talk about a little bit about this giveaway. So what's going on? Well, actually, we have someone in the community who has decided to retire, and so we wanted to say a massive thank you to OG Josh, who's a good friend of both Flo and mine. Who we've met through the OG clan, and Josh has decided to retire, and he's been a day one player. He's been such an awesome support to so many people in the community, and so we want to just honor his legacy and say well done for many years of Mario Kart Tour, going after ACR, upgrading your inventory and everything that you've been doing. So all the best for your future endeavors. Flo, do you want to say a couple words about Josh as well?
Yeah, I think he was a really great player, and we also chatted a lot in the OG server. Unforgettable will he be his 231 action run on RMX Ghost Valley 1RT. I think it was a triple boombox frenzy, completely crazy. So he was really grinding hard on the ranked, and very good player, very nice guy. So yeah, let's see.
Is that one a world record? That's amazing.
That's a rare world record, yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, and so I've ended up now with 3 Mario Kart Tour accounts because Josh has decided that he wanted someone to take over his account, and he's been generous enough to give me that privilege. So I'm completely honoured by that and quite humbled by that. But I want to give back to the community, and I want to pay it forward. So maybe you're out there and you are brand new to the game, just started. I've got an account here which we're going to look at today, actually, and we're going to compare some accounts. And this account is, it's been free to play for about 18 months. It's, barely done any gold pass at all, just the trial. And it's a good account. It's got some great items ready there, ready for investment. So it needs someone to pick it up and subscribe to the gold pass, maybe save up some tickets. And I think this account could be on a good trajectory to hit ACR. So we want to support you to achieve your ACR goals. So maybe somebody else in the community out there would be interested in going in ACR. Let me know. So if you're interested, just reach out to me directly via Discord or comment below that you're interested, and we'll have a chat. So we're going to get into some inventory comparison today. So I thought it could be quite cool to look at what is the difference between a free-to-play 18-month-old account versus a gold pass 18-month account versus Flo's account, which is a little bit older, but not too much older, and still gold pass, versus this account here that Josh is passing on to me, which is a day one account, which he has been buying packs. He's been pay to win, not crazy well, but let's just say that there's a lot of inventory on this account. So if you have a look here right from the start, you can see there's a difference in player level, there's a difference in tier. So you can see one of Josh's biggest achievements has been getting the gold me suit and taking it to level 8 and triple capping it, which is pretty insane, I'm telling you now. You'll also see the difference in the amount of drivers that we've got, the karts and the gliders, so pretty astronomical difference between the 3 gold pass and free-to-play accounts and the pay-to-win. You can see how many more karts and drivers and gliders there are there, highest score, and something around multiplayer. So what are your thoughts when you look at this, Flo?
Yeah, I think definitely the most impressive part is just the number of drivers, karts, and gliders. So it's almost double the amount of karts. So I don't think, and we will also have a look at it later, that it will make that much difference if you go for ACR, because you just can't choose one card per track, and it doesn't help if you have multiple options at level 6 or level 7. But if you have a good subset of 50 cards that are at level 6 and higher, 50 is already a lot, but that's counting the super cards as well, which fill some gaps here and there. Then you are ready for ACR, and you can easily get good scores. So just the number of 200 cards doesn't mean that he is that much, but he just top 10, and we are not even top 1000, but it's
totally
it's closer than.
So as we go through, we'll compare what this actually means and how it shows up for ACR, and that will be interesting to see. But just keep an eye on that 18-month free-to-play account as we go through, because this is the account that I'm giving away. So you'll see that we've got some good investments there already with, Bowser Santa, Meowser, King Bob Gold, PGP, Yoshi Gold Egg, just obtained Kamek, which is cool. And then Party Time Pauline is the meme driver here, because this was originally my wife's account, and she just kept getting Pauline, which became a joke for us, which is very funny. So moving on, let's look at what does it actually mean for ACR. So I've just done a ACR loadout comparison here, where I've it's a little bit synthetic, I guess. But what I did is I just plugged in the DKRs, and me and Flo already had our setup. But I also did it for the Josh's account for last tour, and then also the free-to-play account, which I wasn't grinding on that account either, but just to compare. And you can see straight away on the far right here with these estimates, the estimates are a lot closer than you might think. but also ACR as you go up through the placements, the scoring difference can be diminishing returns, I guess I would say, because the top players aren't scoring twice or three times as much as the top 1,000. So you can see here that actually it might not make a massive difference in with your inventory. It's actually about making key investments. You'll also see here next to average loadout strength on the left hand side, you'll see the drivers, karts and gliders average loadout strength, so you can compare them between the 4 accounts here. And actually you might notice that I think comparing Flo's to Josh's account here, it's quite interesting how close they actually are, and actually also the my account, the 18-month gold pass versus again Flo's account, the 24-month gold pass account. You can see again they're quite close as well. Flo, what do you think when you look at this? What do you notice?
Yeah, I think we already discussed it also in advance. So the key, if you want to go for top 1,000 or also tier 70, something like that in ranked, then you usually need a gold pass. You can also get quite at least to tier 60, and also if you save the tickets, you can also get a top 1,000 run at least once half a year, let's say something like that.
Yeah.
If you just save up the tickets. But if you want to get consistently some nice ACR top 1,000 or top 100 games, then you at least need the gold pass. And the gold pass already gives you the possibility to invest in one item every 2 to 4 tours, maybe something like that. Because nowadays we also have a lot of possibilities to get high-end tickets with some tier shops or the total points challenges, something like that. So it adds up quickly. And then, of course, you notice that my investments, or at least for the Cat Tour, my investments for karts and gliders were pretty good. The ones
Nice.
for drivers, not that much. So you can see that Matt had a better loadout there, even if he played for 6 months less. And in the estimated score, I think that's
that's key.
reasonable.
Yeah.
You can see 100k different, 150k difference between the 3 gold pass accounts, and then we also see that the free-to-play accounts then
not too far
it's a little bit
left.
Not too far behind, but you also definitely see the difference that you cannot go easily for ACR if you do.
Totally.
If you don't invest into the items. And additional to that, it's also way harder to get good frenzies with level 4 drivers, which you will definitely need in the free-to-play account.
Yeah, you need to get closer to level 6 to even have a go. Awesome, man.
Yep.
Great thoughts. So now we're going to take a look and just compare the inventory with some of the top items. So this is just the stock standard tier list from DKR's spreadsheet. Thank you to the guys that maintain these resources, and we'll give them all a shout out towards the end of the video.
I think it's BGR, right?
Sorry, BJR. BGR. Too many
all
acronyms. ACR, BGR, DKR, all the R's. So you can see the 4 accounts here. I mean, not really too much to say here. What you'll notice straight away, though, is on the far right, you've got level 7, level 7, level 7, level 8. It's almost surprising that Yoshi Kangaroo is only level 6, whereas for most accounts, even having Yoshi Kangaroo at a level 6 will be a luxury. So you can see that the ceiling is much higher, and actually making investments and thinking about level 8 is much more of a consideration for this account. Actually, I was telling Flo earlier, and I've got it on my phone here, all the drivers on this account which need to go to level 8 and which are close to going to level 8. So, Hakama's 5 tickets away from level 8. PGP is 3 tickets from level 8. Pauline Party Time is 7 tickets from level 8. Kamex only 4 tickets from level 8. King Bob on Gold's only 6. So you can see, that's crazy. Charging Chuck is only a few tickets, only 4 tickets away from level 7. So, these are luxuries to have, certainly. You can see with the account, the 18-month gold pass, which is my normal account, you can see that the focus has been getting as much level 6 double capping going as possible. Flo's kind of moved on from that. You can see that in the third image there, he's trying to get things to level 7 and potentially level 8 now. And then on the far left, you see, how much different it is with those driver loadouts. They need a lot of work. I think it's quite interesting that Mario Classic is on the list as a level 2 driver, which is hilarious. So this is more just demonstrating coverage than it is scoring potential. You can see the difference is dramatic, and the focus for this account has to be getting these existing drivers up to level 6, like King Bob on Gold. Bowser Santa I just took to level 6 and double capped on that account, which feels good on a free-to-play account to be able to do that. But yeah, there's some really obvious investments that need to happen on that account to make it work. Anything to add, Flo, before we move on to the karts?
Yeah, I just want to highlight this Lakitu party time at level 1 and single cap.
It's sad, isn't it?
Because he's sad, great. It's sad.
He's actually the first decent driver that this account got, and we never leveled it up, and it's a big regret because there's so much scoring that's been left on the table for months, well, 18 months really. But Lakitu Patu time is getting all the attention here every week.
Yeah.
Karts wise, pretty similar. I guess one thing I found quite interesting with Josh's account is there's a lot of level 6 double cap, but the items are so different, and karts can vary massively between accounts because it's an older account. So, I didn't even, on the 18-month Gold Pass account, I don't have Ramby Runner, I don't have Black Dozer, I don't have Crawley Kart even past level 3. I don't have Happy Ride at all. Luna Cruise is level 1. Sports Coupe I didn't even buy. Gilded King I don't own. The Gold Train is level 3. Platinum Taxi is level 3 and I just got it. Red Crawley Kart I don't own. Quickshaw is level 1. So it's entirely different. It's completely different. And at first I was like, oh, this is so different, But I guess the unique way you can put karts together to cover your inventories is so unique to each individual. So you'll see our top 5, between these 5 different accounts is almost entirely different. I see the off-roader is on the first 3, but then not at all for Josh's account because he never invested in that. It's only level 4. What are your thoughts on this, Flo? What do you notice?
Yeah, I think Josh just invested in some older cards, like the Quickshaw. I would never have invested in, but of course, if you started earlier, then at some point it maybe was a very valuable card. And for example, I invested in a Cat Cruiser, which I would never do again if I would have the choice again. But yeah, that's depending when you started the game. And Party Wing is coming. Sure, it got some nice buffs, so at least it's not completely lost.
Hey, Party Wing, number 8 on your list. There you go.
Exactly. So,
hey, what's funny? That Quickshaw, like I've never even used it on my Gold Pass account, but I'm using it in ranked this week. On this account, because it's level 6 double capped. I'm using it with Gold Cooper free running on Paris. So you don't even think about these things, but it has value you don't even notice because you're not invested in it. But I think we'll dive a little bit more into how we're going to invest for Josh's account later on. It will be quite interesting to talk about that and what items for the karts make sense to upgrade further. Gliders. So here are the tier lists for the gliders. You can see I went really hard in on the free-to-play account with Dream Glider. So level 6, so that's the best glider there. Some really good gliders across all of these accounts, I would say. Dragon Wings is interesting because I've only got that at level 1 on my other accounts. What about you? Do you have Dragon Wings high or?
No, definitely low. I think it's level 1. I own them, but I think it's just level 1.
It's just got too much overlap with Dry Bowser Umbrella, which is your best glider.
Yep, definitely.
Cool,
and also with some supers, I think. So I think when I started the game, the Dragon Wings, I also got them a little bit too late to invest in them.
Yeah.
Of course, at some point it's interesting to replace supers as well. But if you are just new to the game, then it's easier to just level up the supers because they also get them with pipe pulls. And then I just invested too late, or would have invested too late. So that's why they are still at level 1.
Yeah, super overlap is something that does annoy me. Like, I held off on investing in the 8-bit super mushroom on the 18-month gold pass account there for ages because it's got so much super overlap. But in the end, it was in ranked too much, and it's got so many courses that I did invest in it. But I'm not a big fan of these gliders that overlap a lot with supers, and what you usually see is things like the Dragon Wings would overlap. I think the reason Josh would have taken this to level 8 is because of the daily selects, but as we know now, that doesn't really matter anymore. But it's still a great investment. It turns up all the time, and it pairs quite nicely with a couple of other things which aren't even showing up on this list. For example, the Golden Wings, which I'm sure we'll talk about today lots more, and hopefully Flo will take my advice and finally invest in it.
Let's see if you can convince me.
yeah, I'll work on my sales pitch there. Cool, so let's talk about the new courses. It's a very different tour to talk about ACR, I guess. But we've got these 6 new courses. I think it's just 6. Have I missed any? I don't think I have missed any.
No, it's 6.
Yep. So we've got the 3 new Berlin ones, and we've got the 3 new Amsterdam ones. And quite cool courses. I'm enjoying them. There's something different. For me, I've got the nostalgia factor with Berlin because the very first tour I played was the Berlin tour. And my first high-end that was rare that I got was Luigi Lederhasen, which is very nice. I enjoyed him. I didn't invest in him, but I think going back I probably would, just because of just the affinity to that character and the nostalgia there. But I'm enjoying Berlin. Really cool things going on here. And Flo, I'm sure you enjoy racing around some cities that you've probably been to in real life, I imagine.
Yeah, I've been in all of them besides Paris. So Berlin, Amsterdam, and also London. Actually, so I'm originally from Germany, but I think I know London the best because my girlfriend was studying there for quite some time. So I visited her a couple of times. I think in Berlin I've been twice, and in Amsterdam once, or I think once. So at least I knew most of the buildings, and I could tell you a little bit also about the city maybe. Still looking forward for the Vienna tour because that city I would definitely know the best. But yeah, I like the city tours just to drive around because those are also maybe the tracks you want to show to some friends to get them addicted to Kart tour. What is interesting that we have 6 new courses is that they all occur twice. So just 1/3 of the whole ACR is a new course. It makes it really interesting because you have some nice buffs. I think there are also some super super top shelves on Amsterdam Drift 2R, if I'm not wrong. So I think there's Luigi and some Shy Guy. So you have some options there, but in general, it's still a difficult top shelf, and that makes the projections also a little bit lower, which we'll see in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I've put the image of Rosalina Chef here. We're going to look at the plus skill driver buffs on the next page, but I thought she deserved to sit on the throne for a minute here because she is absolutely crazy this tour, and I guess it will be interesting to see her value long term. I want her to be great. I want to pull for her, and I want to actually get this item and invest in it. But it's really tough when an item comes out in a city tour, and every single course I've got is a city. Absolutely, if you want to go for ACR this tour and you need to bring your driver levels up, then she's going to be your best bet to invest into. But it's speculative value because we don't know even if she'll get one course at all. I mean, of course she will, but we don't know because it's all speculative future value, being that it's only city value this tour. But don't let that hold you back if you like the character, and if you like Giant Banana, I would say get that Giant Banana character, take her level 6, double cap her, and go and smash ACR this tour and have fun with giant bananas all over these cities. So let's take a quick look at the plus skill driver buffs, and usually this will be a lot less buffs and more focused on what are the courses where there are unique value here. But to be honest, there's just so many of them, and it's all city value, so there's probably not much point in diving too deep into this. Were there any that interested you out of this list, Flo, or would you agree with my thoughts on that?
Yeah, one that interests me is the yellow pit crew toad,
Yes.
which is also kind of my favorite character because yellow toad I always played in Super Mario Brothers Wii back then, and yeah, two very nice buffs. So giant banana is still a great item, and I think Paris Promenade 3 and 3R are difficult to cover tracks. So I think I use it at both of those tracks, and I'm sure he helps also a lot of other people.
Yeah, he's my favorite super driver too, man. I absolutely love him, and I've got him 8 triple capped as well, so gotta love that. And what I would say is that if the supers, they curb their value at a certain point and they stop giving them new courses, but what they're doing here is they're giving them budget extra, bonus value for people who are going for ACR, because it's a city tour, so they don't mind just buffing everything all over the place, because at the end of the day they know that these courses aren't going to be coming back every tour, and they're not messing with really the meta and the coverage value of these items. So I would say it's just a bonus, to see him get 2 more courses. He's in ACR. They're not, I don't think either of those in ranked. Maybe one of those is in ranked, not sure.
The Paris ones for
it's week 2.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not ranked, but it's it's fun anyway. Cool. Let's move right along, and we're going to talk about the ACR projections. Do you want to talk to this, Flo?
So yeah, we see some drop-offs in all of the predictions. So in the top 10, top 100, top 1000. Yeah. So that's of course also. Then comes with a lower top or a lower ACR score for your inventories probably. So I think my one is also something like 1.4 something instead of 1.5. So yeah, if it drops for everyone, then of course the prediction also drop. And I think also Rashid told on the Friends event server that he also decreased the predictions by 3%, just because a lot of people don't or didn't invest into the city courses. And in fact, it's also a little bit different and difficult to invest into the city courses, because you have once the chance when they appear, and then you have a couple of items, and then they never come back. So now we see again these courses like Berlin Byways 2, for example. But if you didn't invest into the items back then, it was it's impossible to predict which items will get the buffs. If, for example, Meowser will get the Berlin Byways 2 RT buff. So if you're lucky if you had the gap there. I think I had the gap at that particular track, and now there are several options like Meowser and Luigi Vacation, but there are other tracks where those are not filled because you couldn't plan it. You didn't know which character will get this track. So it makes it also difficult to invest into city tracks. And yeah, we will also talk about that later when we discuss our ACR game plan.
Yeah, man, and you definitely thinking about it's luck based of what got buffed, and the longer you've been in the game, the more items you've got at a high level, the more chances you've got of seeing something in ranked or in ACR. And that segues nicely into this next section, where this is just simply a usage, view on the top items which are showing up in ACR this tour. So you can see, and these specifically are, you can see the highlighting is basically items which have been around perhaps a while, or maybe they're new or a plus skill, or something that a lot of people are investing in, so they're the ones you might want to pay attention to. I guess I just want to highlight on this sheet here that if you, during, I guess, the Paris tour, when Luigi Painter, might have been the third Paris tour, I'm not sure which one that was, but when Luigi Painter and the Paintster and the Flying Easel came out, maybe you took his set to a high level. Actually, he's a great Lucky 7 driver. I like him, even though he has quite a bit of overlap. I love Luigi and I love Lucky 7, so maybe you're like me and you've got those items at a high level. Paintster's a nice big cart, so perhaps you took that one up as well. Flying Easel's got a good skill of Blooper Plus. It's okay value, depending on your inventory. I'd say it's a B tier glider, not an A or a S tier glider. But maybe you've got those items at a high level. Maybe you've got Volendam at a high level, and Kamek, the Iron Cucumber, Carrot Cart, some of the Lime Teacup, some of these items which have good value in the game for retro courses, but they might also have quite a lot of cities as well. These are the items that it might make sense for you to go ACR if you already have them at a high level. What I wouldn't recommend is necessarily investing now based on these items. However, maybe it makes sense if you've already got these items at a high level. Any thoughts on that, Flo?
No, I fully agree with you. So if you have them at a high level, go with them. Otherwise, don't level them up further.
Yeah, be careful with those tickets. All right, do you want to take us through the plus skill distribution?
Yeah, so that's a very different distribution than the one we have seen the last time. So I think the last time it has been, at least we had some coin curses because we have the Baby Park R, which had no plus skill driver there. So as you can see here, we have a plus skill driver option on every single city curse. We have 24 curses with coin box, which is quite a lot. And then we have some boomerang curses. We have some giant banana curses now with Rosalina Chef, and I don't remember which was this the last with the Lucky 7. I think it's some painter curse. And then it's very interesting to compare our two ACR distributions. So Matt now has this new account taken over from Josh, so that's why it is definitely different than mine. If he would continue with his old Gold Pass account, then it would be quite similar to mine because he also invested in some boomerang drivers. And as you can see, Josh invested mainly in Coinbox, which is I would still say it's still king. Because it's also not that time consuming as boomboxing, even if I like boomboxing a lot. And so as you can see, 22 out of 24, where Coinbox is the best option for Matt. That's quite nice, will make the ACR upgrades a lot easier. Then also a lot of Lucky 7 tracks, which are, I think, of Chuck and Painter, a combination. And then some other spread courses. And then for my account, also, I think it's very similar to the last one, just with a little more giant banana tracks, which I didn't have the last tour, which are now due to Yellow Pete Toad and also Rosalina Chef, which I pulled for. And
nice. How deep did you have to go to get her?
5 tenors, but I started with the Larry and the freebie, so that was the sign.
There you go. That was a sign.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry98.
Yeah.
I know you guys connect online as well.
Yeah. We hope to have him here at some point, or at least use some of his images, because he's a great resource creator. I'm sure we will see some new some new contents from him
awesome.
in the near future.
Yeah, Larry, let us know, hit us up. We would love to have you on at some time. Awesome. Yeah, really great thoughts, Flo. And I think it's really interesting if we have a look at this, the ideal distribution. You've got so many giant banana courses. So if you pulling for Rosalina Chef, like we said earlier, and leveling her up, you're going to have a really fun tour if you love giant banana. Go for it, make that a reality. And also I find it really interesting how many boom boxes you've got, Flo. I think that must be because of Rosalina Volendam, am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Both of
So
them.
yeah, I've got her on this new account that I've got, but she's only at level 1, so I would love to level her up, but I just don't have, because there's so much overlap right now. She doesn't have enough uniques. It just doesn't make sense to take her to a high level yet, but we will see what happens in the future. Awesome. So now we're going to jump into our hot list, and we've got the drivers. So remember, Flo, did you want to just explain how this hot list works?
Yeah, let's quickly wrap that up. So we have ACR appearances, we have ranked appearances. We put them both together in this list, and then create another score that is taking the ACR appearances plus twice the number of ranked appearances, which is then counting each ranked appearances 3 times because it appears 1 in ACR, and then we count it 2 additional times. So that's where the scores comes from, and then you have this list of drivers or other items.
And first off, I have to say that just before we hit record, Flo was like, "Hang on, Rosalina Chef with 20? That can't be right." And what did you find, Flo?
Yeah, so if Ben's sheet is not wrong, which I don't think, it's indeed 14 ACR appearances, because a lot of her tracks, like the new Berlin byways and the new Amsterdam Drift 2, are twice in ACR, and that's why it's even. So I think it's 10 different courses, but then 4 of them occur twice. So yeah, it's incredible. 14 times in ACR, 3 times in ranked, which leads to a score of 20. And I don't think that this will be topped very soon, but let's see.
Yeah, and it's funny because people always talk about Baby Rosalina Detective being this city queen, but actually you can see that what happens is the game is adding more and more courses to the new to the new items, so that she's completely irrelevant now, because yes, she's third on this list, right? But there's so many overlaps. She's going to be overlapping with all of these other plus skill items. From a driver perspective, it's just not going to make sense. We've got Luigi Painter in there. We've got Rosalina Volendam already really high up there, which makes sense with those Amsterdam tracks and the new buffs she's getting in these cities. Really, really different ACR and ranked this tour, I would say. Then moving into the karts, we've got the Sweet Ride, the Fast Frank, the White Fast Frank. We've got the Paintster, Iron Cucumber. I would say this is very different. The karts that are showing up this tour are completely different than the typical meta we talk about, because it's a city tour. So what I would say about this is you have to be so careful with investing your tickets this tour. Do not just invest into these items just because they show up a lot in ranked this tour especially. You want to look at what are the items in this list which are great for your account and also show up here. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the Carrot Cart has got some unique value and you're going to invest into that. Or maybe the Paintster, which is a nice big cart, perhaps you're going to be investing into that. The Flower Cart, maybe you've been holding off on that, but it's got great value for you. Maybe this is the tour where you could do that. Any thoughts from you on that, Flo?
No, I think that's fine. Basically
Cool.
what you said.
Awesome. And the gliders, pretty similar situation here. Some really interesting items, but I would say, again, it's speculative value. So investing in some of these items might not make sense. Maybe if you're getting into the green sprout, maybe that's got some good coverage for you, or the candlelight flight, some of these items. But there's certainly some weird items in here, like the gold toe beam balloons. You're probably not going to be investing in that item. So quite interesting. All right, so moving right along from the hot list, we're going to talk about ticket time, and we covered this in the last episode, but for those who might have missed the last episode, Flo, did you want to give a quick explanation of how this thing works?
Yeah, let's make it quick. So ticket time is similar to other trackers like VGR, probably the most popular one. So you get the information which items might be important for your inventory, and ticket time is in particular interested in, or I aimed for finding out which are the best items to invest further into. So if you have some item already maxed out, then they will not appear because you cannot further invest in them, or at least not right now, until hopefully not soon level 9 will be introduced.
No, thank you.
But yeah. At that point, it takes into account the usual level ups, which will be level 6 double cap, or then if you already have it, level 6 double cap, level 7 triple cap, which would then be the next step. And in the beginning, I just wanted to find out, is it more valuable to level a new item up to level 6 double cap, or an old item further up to level 7 triple cap? And
for the most part, what is the answer to that?
The answer to that, it really depends on the account, but so there's no clear answer to that, and we can see in our ACR rankings in a minute how those develop. And in general, I take the basic idea behind evaluating those items is I take the score based on DKRX's ACR sheet, and I just evaluate what would be the new score if I upgrade the particular item to the new level, and I see the gain, and I just add up the gains over all tracks, and I have some additional items or properties that I take into account, like the cart size, the driver skill, driver size, something like that. Not that important now. Course weighting is important, since we all know that city course don't appear that often. Let's see if it changes now after this tour, because next will probably be the same. But let's see if it continues over the rest of the year, or if it's just an exception. In general, I think I would still stick to these old course weights, and basically nice. That's the idea. So
cool, man.
It just tries to find the best items to level up.
Awesome. Yeah, and I like that it includes cities, but it weights them. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, should we include cities or should we exclude cities? But what I like with the way you've done it is it's a weighting. So, you know, cities have a weighting, but it's a small weighting. So it will factor in what's happening right now with the appearance of these courses, but it's not going to, you know, completely change the meta overnight. And, you know, at the end of the day, these courses do appear, but it might be once or twice a year. Great, man. So we've got the ACR tier list. So again, what we do is we take the items, we assume they're all level 3, and we assume a level up of 6 and double cap, and we see what comes out. So Gold Me and Meows are still in first and second place with no change. Then we see Yoshi Kangaroo has gone up 1 and Charging Chuck has gone down 1 place. Shy Guy Ninja and King Bob on Gold have gone up 1 place respectively, and then Mario Satellaview has dropped down 2, which is sad to see. And then Mario Samurai now into the top 10, going up 3 places. Yoshi Gold Egg down 1, and then Mario Tuxedo no change. Silver Me Racing Suit down 2. Peach Happy is staying static there, and then Rosalina Volendam is up into the top 15. What do you think about these drivers?
So yeah, one thing that we should mention is that DKR adjusted his ACR predictions for the boomerang drivers, and that's why we see Yoshi Kangaroo rising, and then Shy Guy Ninja, Mario Samurai, and as well Rosalina Volendam. So that's the reason why. Otherwise, I think there wouldn't be that many changes, because we have a city tour, we have not that interesting buffs. So it's just the little changes because, cities are still taken into account. So that might, lead to slight changes, as we can also see in the Kart and glider list. But nothing spectacular going on here.
Yeah, man, Boomerang continues to be really valuable and really interesting to invest in. And both you and I, Flo, love to boombox. It is time consuming, but it also has a massive high scoring ceiling. So it's amazing when you get the right runs, as we saw from our what happened last tour with our scoring.
Yeah.
Moving on to the carts, not dramatic change, some real slight changes here. So in our top 5, we've got Jukebox Buggy, Cupid's Arrow and Cactar still in the top 3 places. Then we've got Prop Kart, who's moved up and dropped Ramby Runner down 1. So Prop Kart is looking fantastic for ACR, and this is a very meta item right now. It might be worth looking at for your inventory. I know I've still got it at level 1. I think, Flo, you don't even have the Prop Kart, is that right?
I don't have it, no.
Yeah. Cool. And then the gliders. In our top 2 spots, we've got the Golden Wings and the Starry Great Sail again. Pink Gold Meteors. These are the... I'm excited about this top 10. The Galaxy Glider and the Silver Surfmaster got knocked down. So I feel like this is like a competition between you and me, bro. And right now... I'm winning the glider competition. Let's go. It will be really interesting then to look at our inventory. We're going to look and do our tier list now, both first for Flo's inventory and then my inventory. We're going to see the changes for Flo's inventory and what that might look like. For my inventory, though, we're going to start looking just at the account that I've got from Josh. So it's going to look very different than the tier list that I had, and it will be interesting to compare between Flo's and my new account's tier list to see what is valuable in ACR for our accounts. It could be quite different. So let's get stuck into that. Flo, so here is your tier list. And first up, we've got Meowser at the top. He's got a score of 660,000 points there. Then we've got Luigi Vacation up 3 places to number 2 on the list. This massive jump. He's knocked Charging Chuck down to place 4. We've got King Bob on Gold, Charging Chuck, and Mario Satellaview as your top 5. What do you think of your top 5 there and your top 15 as well?
Yeah, so at least it's a good thing that I early noticed that I have to invest into that item. So all in the, because 3 of them are non-coin boxes, like Luigi Vacation, Charging Chuck, and Mario Satellaview. But I pulled for all of them and I invested early in all of them. So that's also one of the reasons why they are high in this list, because if you already invested into items, then usually it's also good to invest further into them, because they already cover on a lot of tracks and usually you don't want to have a lot of overlap with other items. That's the basic idea. Then of course Rosalina Volendam is still rising at
Nice.
Number 10. I even thought about triple capping and put her to level 7 and triple cap her, since she's a double feature next week. I will see if I want to do that. I really like her and the tracks she has, and of course I also like boomboxing. But let's see if this is necessary, if I should save up my tickets.
Yeah, if not now, then certainly it's going to probably happen in a few episodes' time, right? So I like how you are, you're same as me in that quite cautious with investments, because it means you're saving your tickets for the right moment when you need to put that in, and that's going to be great for your account long term. But you're ensuring that there is long-term value before you invest. So that's wise, man. Cool. So the Karts Armored Riders jumped up 3 spots. So we got the Jukebox Buggy, Purple Bunny, Armored Rider, Frosty Bells, and White Bruiser. How are you going with that White Bruiser? Are you still investing in that? It's quite strong this tour.
Yeah, it's also in rank the first week, and it's also my best card there. So I might take it to level 6 because it's currently at level 5.
Nice.
Which is some step in between. So
yeah.
I have the tickets to put it to level 6 at the Doctor Tour, I think it appeared. So that's why it's stuck there. But maybe I will just give it to remaining 3 tickets to its level 6. But let's see if it is needed for my ranked.
Yeah.
And apart from that, sorry.
Go ahead.
So we apart from that, Armored Rider is still rising at position 3. That would be nice if it comes back to a pipe at some point. And the others, some movers and shakers down there. Silver King, unfortunately, dropping a bit. I think there are some slight errors in the changes maybe, but all in all, I think there are some cards that rise. Tiger Bruiser is also another one. that is nice to see over there because it got another ranked buff.
Yeah,
Or
they're starting to
another
put it in
buff.
rank now. It's interesting because it's been a
Yeah,
while. It didn't
definitely.
have a
Yeah.
good value early on, and now they're starting to buff it, which is interesting. What about the grey cat cruiser? What are your thoughts on that? Have I put the wrong number there? Maybe 6 seems like it's jumped
I
a lot.
think, yeah, it might be correct nevertheless. But
Might have to take a look
I
at that one,
haven't,
man.
yeah, I haven't put an eye on it yet. So I also don't own it yet. So that's why
Okay. Yeah.
I can't invest in it. So of course, yeah, I'm not sure if you're all aware of it, but the list also takes items into account that you don't own yet. So Armored Rider, like I mentioned, I don't own yet. Same for Jukebox Bunny, Purple Bunny, Frosty Belts. So basically, the top four I don't own, so I can't invest them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just also a nice view that you see. Okay, if this item appears in a pipe, or maybe in a pack if you're a pay to win player or like to spend at least a little bit more money than just gold pass, then you can also just pull for it or buy it and then invest it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and let's talk about the glider battles. So, in your top 5, we've got the Black Great Sail, the Rose Parasol, Black Toe Beam Balloons, Galaxy Glider, and Dream Glider. And the poor Galaxy Glider took a massive hit down four spots this tour, and the Golden Wings is just sneaking up. It's about to come into your top 5, so we'll see what happens there. But what are your thoughts on the gliders?
Yeah, so one thing that I have to mention there is that the Galaxy Glider dropped down because I invested in it last time. So if I invested in it,
Yeah.
then it's of course not that good to invest even further into it. But that's also one disadvantage right now for Ticket Time, because I don't tell how many tickets you need. So usually it should be more the same, but I wanted to make that a little bit more precise so that you can also get some gain per ticket ratio, and then you can even better compare the scores. That's a feature that I want to implement in the near future.
Awesome. Yeah, man, we're all watching this space, so no pressure, but I think that'll be a really great addition when you have the time to do that. Yeah, man, and that's good because I mean it still demonstrates that you know your inventory, you've invested in the Galaxy Glider. So for you to know the items, and it might make more sense to you to invest more in, then this list is going to be helpful for that. So it's all about your context. Cool, let's move right along. So that's your tier list, man. And here we go. So this one's going to be quite different to my one from last tour, because this is the account that Josh is playing. Very different items on the list. So in my top 5 drivers, I've got King Bob on Gold, Yoshi Kangaroo, Kamek, Tuxedo, and Rosalina Swimwear. And you might remember in the last episode what I said is I don't even have Rosalina Swimwear. Here she is now on this other account, level 7 double capped in my top 5. So some really interesting things in here. I found Pauline Party Time being number 6 pretty hilarious. I think she is level 7 and double capped. I don't plan on investing in her anymore, so it's quite interesting how it kind of works. I guess the scores, are much lower. You can see from this tier list because things are already at a high level. Yoshi Kangaroo is the only driver in this top 5 that isn't at level 7 or level 8. So that's quite interesting. You'll see there's no Gold Me on this list, and Meow's is quite far down, and that's because the Gold Me is already at level 8 and triple capped, so there's no point in further investing in that item. So you can see that the one that actually makes the most sense, and that was actually my thinking of how it's going to show up, is going to be either Meowza or King Bob on Gold. King Bob on Gold is only a few tickets away from level 8, and that's going to be my best investment. Yoshi Kangaroo would give me probably the least tickets per upgrade kind of value there, so it might be worth taking Yoshi Kangaroo to level 7, but I guess the tour would have to be the right tour to justify that. All in all, with the drivers though, I would say they're pretty well sorted. There's not much that needs to be done apart from simple things like charging Chuck, just needs to be double capped. So same with Satellaview, he wasn't double capped either. Some basic things like that. On the karts and gliders, so with the karts, Combo Cruiser, Ramby Runner, Jukebox Buggy, Sports Coupe 2022, I found that an interesting one. I don't even have that on my other account. And then the Black Dozer, which I'm loving driving for the first time. It's quite different. Those are my top 5 there. And then for the gliders, we've got Golden Wings, Silver Surfmaster, 8-Bit Fireflower, Wonderful Wings, and 8-Bit Bullet Bull. Not really some surprises there. I think the interesting thing is the gliders are not at the same kind of higher level as the drivers. It's almost out of balance. So I think that what I've started, and same with the karts. So my goal now is to buy actually kart and glider tickets when I can. Sometimes over driver even, because I need to get these karts and drivers up to a higher level, or at least save some tickets for maybe a top 100 run in the future. So quite an interesting list, very different. What do you notice on this list, Flo?
Yeah, I think it's already pretty well summarized. What I noticed is the Bowser Hanafuda. He invested in at position 6. We just noticed that I think there's not a single Hanafuda appearance in this ACR because they didn't get the city tracks. So yeah, Bowser Hanafuda is arguably the best one of those, but probably won't get buffed in the future. So yeah, probably won't be worth it to further invest into, but it's still nice to see it on the list. So it's also really stating that it's still usable on some of the tracks.
Awesome, man. Great stuff. All right, let's move right along. And next up, we've got the ACR game plan. And Flo, this is your DKR for the current tour. Talk us through what your game plan is. What are your goals? Maybe what are your items that you're almost like your ACR MVPs or investments you want to make this tour? Tell us more.
Yep. So as you can see, the average loadout strength, I think that's the most that's similar for most of us because there are some pretty nice driver buffs along the tracks, but just there are gaps for the karts and gliders everywhere, and It's the same for me. So I think we will also notice that for your ACR game plan. So yeah, drivers are carrying us through this tour, and as you've seen in the beginning for the cap tour, it was the other way around. And my karts and gliders were even better than my drivers. And for this tour, I don't think that I will upgrade anything since I was pretty lucky with the ranked buffs. So Berlin Byways, I have 2 level 6s and 1 level 1, and for the new Amsterdam courses, I also have level 6 drivers, and at least decent. Also 2 level 6 and 1 level 7 Galaxy Glider appearing again, just to mention. And then you have unfortunately this gap. So London Loop 3T, there's of course the quality cards, which I don't have at the high level, and this will definitely cost me some points in comparison to many others. And Cactar also has this course, which is a very popular card, so I will definitely lose some points on that track. So let's see if I can make it up for it.
Speaking of the Crawley cart, on the account that I've just taken over, the Crawley cart is level 8 and triple capped, so you wouldn't have seen it on that tier list at all because you can't upgrade it any further, and it's an amazing cart. But it's funny because I was the same as you with my normal account. Crawley cart was very low level in the game. Have you thought about? Sorry, go ahead.
I just got it in the Samurai Tour, so that's why. Then it wasn't a tier shop, and before I had not even the chance to invest into it, and now it's probably too late too. So yeah, sorry.
Well, yeah, no, you're all good. Yeah, actually, it's shown up a few times in the tier shop recently, so I actually just bought it I'm going to buy it again on the Gold Pass account, or the free to what's going to be now my free to play account, and it's just about to go to level 4, which is great because it's a nice big hitbox and has overlaps with Head Honcho and a bunch of these little carts that are really annoying for coin boxing. So maybe it's not too late, but there's definitely better uses for your tickets. Certainly for you, it'll be interesting to look at the White Bruiser, because that's in ranked, or maybe like the Flower card if those are good items for you. And it's less about what shows up in ACR, and it's actually more about what's better for your account long term. So it's just convenient. But I would say hold your tickets. The only thing I would say is Flower card does show up a lot for ACR for you this tour. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Geez, 7 lots. Yeah, heaps of times. So, if you are planning on investing further, then maybe it would make sense.
I think one or two of them are second shelf though, so that won't help that much. But still, I think it would be the best cards to invest into.
Yeah, maybe a nice soft single cap on that or something like that.
It's already single cap, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's see.
Cool, man. Hey, and so moving along to the ACR game plan for this new account that I've picked up. So it's an interesting one. There's not really any investments I really need to make because there's just so many items already at a high level. I think what's interesting is if you can see that the average loadout strength for the carts is still quite weak for this account. There's a lot of level 2s and some level 3s and things. So certainly you can see that there's not been an intentionality to invest into city tracks, which is good. But it illustrates that no matter how new or old your account is, it's going to be difficult to get good coverage in a tour like this where there's cities galore. So I don't think I will be investing anything, not only for this tour but in the next few tours. I'm going to be on complete savings mode, just grinding out EXP, which Josh used to love to do on this account. Just grind out and enjoy these city courses, have fun, finish every race, no resetting, and see what happens with my score. It will probably land in the top 1,000 accounts just because of the loadout strength already. But my goal needs to shift now to top 100, and maybe I can make a run in the next 6 months at some point for top 100. But in order to do that, the stars have to align again, similar to when I went for top 1,000 on my Gold Pass account. The right items need to show up, the right courses need to show up, and then you have to have the resources ready to go so you can invest in the right items, really, especially the kart tickets, to really have good loadout strengths and go for a top 100 run. So I don't know, man. Does that it must be interesting for you, because I've never gone for top 100 before. You're a lot more experienced. What would you say advice for me in that being a goal?
Yeah, so I already mentioned that before when we were discussing the slides. So I saw it also on my estimated score, and I think it's it's the same case for a lot of other people in my friend list and on the service, that this tour might be an interesting one to go for top 100. If you saw the scores, I think it was, if I remember it correctly, it was 1.36. So if you're around 1.5, then it's just around 90%. So for a lot of people, it's really in the area of 92, 93%.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of upgrades, it's not that much. Same for you. So if you wanted to go for top 100 and have the time to do so, then you could easily do it this week, this tour. But of course, there are items that you don't want to invest in right now. And so, yeah, depends on you. So I think it's a good tour for some of us, and for me, I could do it, but I don't have that much time this tour, so I will definitely skip it.
Yeah, to be really honest, I think actually taking a break after going for ACR grinding for 3 tours straight, actually I've been feeling a bit of fatigue even in my thumb, which is kind of crazy. But these you've got to know, you've got to listen to your body, and you've got to listen to your heart and your family. and just be aware of time and that kind of thing as well. I think I could absolutely go for a top 100 run if I spent every resource I've got. I think realistically though, I don't have the tickets and the resources to do that, or the time. And it would mean I would need to go for like 93%, which would be, I've never achieved 93% before. That would be a very tough grind. It would take a lot of time coin boxing, as you can see from plus skill distribution, and it would just be quite a tough grind. Last tour was a tougher grind for me in terms of even achieving, I think I only got 86% or something like that. That was tough. So this one would be even tougher with courses that I don't know. So, there's always, you got to weigh up these things and take those risks. But I think for me, I want to have fun this tour and enjoy the cities and collect some XP and, just get into savings mode. So that's my plan. So I don't think I'll upgrade anything. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to add two more things before we go on to the final slide. So one thing is that the estimated score changed a bit because, as I mentioned before, DKR changed the action count of the boomerang drivers. So that's why the estimated score is for everyone a little bit higher than it was the last tours. So that might be a little bit misleading, that it is now easier to get this higher score. So take that into account. And then, as you mentioned, you don't know the courses that well. Usually, you know most of the courses. If you have done ACR a couple of times, then you know the courses, you know where to grind, where you have the best spot for a coin box. And now you have 12 or all these different cities, and it's really hard to find the best the best lines in every track if you're not used to them, because you just played them once 1.5 years back, something like that.
Yeah, man, really sound advice and wisdom. So yeah, I guess proceed with caution is what we would say, but have fun, and think about what you listen to your heart, but also listen to your head, which is what it's all about, right? Good Definitely. Thoughts, man. So this here is just something just to analyze my account for this new account a bit further, and just as part of my ACR game plan. These are the items now which I'm thinking about upgrading because they give good coverage for my account. And this is more based on a coverage versus balancing this with the ticket time tool, and comparing the two. Like for example, Shy Guy Ninja and Charging Chuck showed up really strongly in both. Cupid's Arrow Cactar, Armored Rider, Jukebox all showed up strongly in both. Pink Gold Meteors. So these are the items which need to be upgraded on this new account that I've taken over, which don't necessarily show up this tour. So what I'm looking for is maybe either a tour which doesn't have a lot of these items, where I don't need to invest to grind hard for top 100, or alternatively a tour where these items do show up and I can spend my tickets on those and they give me good coverage and also they're good for that tour. So you kind of want to look at coverage and scoring potential as well in the ACR, the actual All Cup ranking for that tour itself, if that makes sense. So these are the items I'm really looking forward to upgrading if they show up in the right tour. Do you do something similar with when you use ticket time? Do you look at the coverage as well?
Yeah, awesome. Sure. Of course, there are some items that you really you really want to invest in them at some point, but you cannot invest all of them at the same time because you have just limited ticket resources. So you have a couple of options at the same time, and keep a look at that. And then when there's the tour, when they appear in ranked or a couple of times in ACR, then you can just pull the trigger and
nice.
Spend tickets.
Yeah, and there's some real obvious ones in here. Charging Chuck needs a double cap. Satellaview double cap. I think 8-bit star needs double cap. It's already, I think, it shows the sum of level there. You can see in that black column, so you can see what level they already are. Doesn't show caps there. So there's some easy double caps that need to happen when I've got the tickets. So focus will be on saving, getting lots of cap tickets, and then uncapping the right items so that my account can continue to get great coverage and make sure we've got at least 6 in double cap with some of these items. All right. Hey guys, it's been over an hour now. We're having a great time, in this city tour, in this Metropolitan tour. But we want to say thanks for watching. Massive thanks to you, Flo, for your time and effort with putting these resources together. Wanted to shout out all of the some of the people who make the data possible that we used in this. So we used some of the plus skill buffs were from Sam70IT's mkttoolbox.com. Make sure you check that resource out. It's fantastic. We talked a lot about DKR and his score sheet, so thank you to everyone behind that. Antilev's tracker we used, Bam, Gerbs, and Reichenbacher, and also MKD Ben's sheet as well. And we also want to make a recommendation of some of the ACR resources you should check out within the community. So of course we've got the BGR tracker, Antilev and MKD Ben's versions. We've got Antilev's top 10, which factors in course appearance and weighting as well, in a similar way that Ticket Time does. Frenzy Fans Calculator, which we completely forgot to mention last time. Massive shout out to Frenzy Fans, and we want to highlight their calculator in a future episode. So if you don't know, their calculator can do ranked, it can do ACR, as well as in a similar way to the DKR. And what is really cool in the calculator is you can actually plug in your intended action count and the base point, so it's a bit more flexible for kind of the stock of the mill, a typical normal player like me and Flo. We're not going to be achieving 100% always on DKRs. That's an optimal estimate. But what we love about that Frenzy Fans calculator is it can be a bit more realistic, a little bit more flexible for you and what your kind of skill level and time allocation is. And there's some great features that we're going to highlight in a future episode. The rundown, inventory inspection, and ACR special episodes, which we mentioned last time from StudFit, some really great YouTube content. So if you love watching hour-long episodes here, go watch some big, long, hour-long episodes over on StudFit's channel as well. Flo, did you want to shout anyone out or mention anything before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's a very, very nice list. So there are a lot of nice resources. I think when I publish the Ticket Time, hopefully soon, then I will also reference to some other resources, because Ticket Time is not the best for every purpose, but there are some other great ACR resources which you might use in addition or instead of it. And make sure to check them out, because they are great resources.
Excellent, man. And did you want to say goodbye to your fans?
To my fans, yeah.
To your fans, yeah.
Well, I can at least show some pretzel here.
Hey, awesome.
Now that we have the pretzel glider, I didn't finish it because it's already pretty late here, but I will have a little snack there right now.
That looks amazing. I'm jealous.
So I can really recommend them. So if you have never been to Germany or Austria or wherever they are popular, then you really miss out on something. They are really great. It's the best snack that you can have. Just if you're a little bit hungry and you just walk across the city, you just stop at one store, pick a pretzel, and then you're fine.
Awesome, man. Hey, it's I know it's late in the evening tonight, so I'll let you go to bed soon. And it's Saturday morning here, so I'm about to go ahead and have waffles, as me and my family do every Saturday morning. Yeah. So you can you finish your pretzel. I'm gonna eat some waffles. We'll be happy. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate your support. There'll be links in the description below with the link to the tier lists. We're going to be sharing this stuff on Discord as well, so if you're involved in the community, then you'll see this show up on Discord. But thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you have a great ACR grind.
Yeah,
see you later.
See you next time. Good luck with your grinds.